Today, I'm going to give you 5 daily habits that will nurture your femininity. Beware, this is joy enhancing. So if you haven't been feeling tip-top, if you haven't been feeling happy or really full of joy lately, this video is for you. Welcome back to The Elegant Life. So you know what? Speaking of joy is one of my top loves of things to talk about, because for so long in my life, I didn't feel joy. In fact, there was a time in my life where I just felt like happiness and joy was this elusive thing that I just couldn't feel. I couldn't embody. It's like I want it, but I don't know how to get it. And in 1997, when I felt so joyful and I was gonna move to France, I had just experienced one of the most difficult, traumatic years of my life. So after the buzz of moving to France subsided a little bit and reality hit in, I was sitting on a park bench with a friend, a man who was a yoga teacher. He was a Buddhist. I said to him, I just want to be happy. And he said to me, that's a really good goal to have. I was like, hey, you're the yoga teacher, you're the Buddhist. Give me something more. I think I was expecting something. And I'll tell you something, that year was the year that I started to embark on happiness and joy, real happiness and joy. There are 2 ways that you can get happiness and joy. One is momentary and exciting, kind of hits a high and then subsides quickly. One is always there, subtle in the background, waiting for you to access it. And when you access it, it's like this full body joy. And it is long lasting. We need both. We need the long lasting and we need those hits of joy, you know? That's what makes life exciting. So today I'm going to share with you 5 habits. They all have to do with you nurturing, embodying, living from your feminine energy. Let's get into them. All right, the first way you can nurture your feminine energy and experience joy is movement. When you do a movement that feels joyful, I'm not talking about doing these movements that you're cursing the whole way through and you're just pushing yourself to do them. I'm not talking about that. That's not nurturing your feminine energy. Remember in the video last week, if you didn't watch that, I'll put it here somewhere. The daily question I invited you to ask yourself was, how do you want to move today? It's not a question of whether you will move or not, okay? That's the masculine structure, but the feminine way is saying, within that structure, how do you want to move? And so that way it's going to feel enjoyable for you, all right? While you're doing that enjoyable movement, hormones of happiness are shot through your body. It is a chemical reaction. Now, when a woman feels happy, she feels even proud of herself. And when she feels proud of herself, it builds the self-trust muscle in herself, that she takes care of herself, that she loves herself, that she prioritizes her wellness. Now, all of those thoughts and feelings are just releasing all kinds of chemicals all over the place. And that is what offers you joy. Second habit is to be more playful. Come to your life, your day, your relationships, your children, your daily tasks that you have to do with a playful energy. Playfulness is a feminine energy that when you embody it, naturally brings you joy, naturally elevates your mood, and gives you this vitality and magnetic presence that everybody is looking for. And yet it's free. It doesn't cost anything. It's just making that conscious choice to come to everything with a playful attitude. Now, let me give you an example of how I do this. There are moments when I used to get so angry and irritated and upset. And I didn't like that about myself. It wasn't something that felt like the highest version of myself. It was not in alignment with her. That's not how she was acting or responding to things. So why was I? And so I questioned that and I said, how would she react? And then I was like, well, of course, she'd be in her feminine energy of playfulness. So in situations that would irritate me, for example, driving the car. I remember when I was driving around in Dubai, the traffic at times was horrendous. Horrendous, like nothing I had ever experienced before. And I was just getting so angry at the unsafe things that people were doing. And I thought, how could I change that? And then what happened was I started one day to sing opera. It got my energy that needed to be released out, but in a funny, playful way. So when someone did something, I would be like this, and my kids would start laughing. And then I would start laughing and it would be over. Another thing is sometimes when my husband does things that irritate me, we'll be disagreeing on something like just happened last week. And I just said to him at the end, because I was just getting frustrated. He thought one way, I thought the other way. We were not agreeing and it was just like worthless to keep going. So I just said to him, I'm going up to my penthouse. And he knows, the ladies in the Elegant Art to Feminine Confidence program, they know this, what penthouse means, little secret there. But he started laughing and then he came over to me and then we just kind of did this little hug and off we went to do our little tasks. That moment before could have caused us a couple of hours of like being frustrated and upset and annoyed. But the playfulness that I brought to it was what transmuted it. So other jobs, like I don't necessarily love at all times cooking, washing up, these kind of things. Like I love cooking, but only when I really want to cook, not when I always have to cook. So I tend to bring a playfulness to it. So I will put on some really funky music and I will sing loud. I love singing. And my daughter came out one day and she's like, what are you doing? I said, I'm singing. And so I was just singing all these songs like Lizzo, One Direction. I was like singing loud. That got me out of that mood that I just didn't want to be in the kitchen. I didn't want to that night, but I changed it. So think of ways every single day when you start to feel triggered, how can I bring playfulness to it? All right, let's move on to the third. The third daily habit is to always have in your mind creativity. You have creativity in you because you are born as a woman, okay? You have that innately in you. When you access it and you embody it and then you live it, creativity brings you so much joy. And I think what women have been taught, or what we've been raised, I know I thought creativity was people who were good at art. Now, I was never good at drawing or even painting things that looked realistic. However, I am highly creative, which I have discovered and owned about myself in terms of home design, home decor, making things look beautiful in simple ways. I love that. Now, how are you going to do this on a daily basis? Well, your creativity can come out in so many different ways. This is where that question, again, from last week can come into the picture. Perhaps when you ask the question, what do you want to enjoy today? Something could come out that has a creative aspect to it. So for me, I want to enjoy playing one song on the piano. So I sit down at the piano and I play a song. Sometimes I sing. There's a recurring pattern there. Another way you could be creative is to simply try a new recipe. You have to cook anyway, but how about searching on Pinterest or searching a cookbook and saying, you know what? I'm going to make that today. I'm going to try something, get creative. That is another way that is so simple and easy and bringing it into your everyday life. Here's another example. Simply plating your food in a creative way. I cannot tell you how many ways there are to just plate your food so that it looks beautiful. I've talked about this a lot, but you can put rice in a little bowl and then tip that bowl onto a plate. And there you've got a beautiful restaurant quality looking mound of rice. Then you just chop your parsley, toast your sesame seeds, whatever it is, and you sprinkle it on top again. Get creative. How can you display your chopped up cucumbers and tomatoes in a beautiful way? If that's something that feeds your soul, that's you living, embodying, and expressing your creativity, and that brings out joy. We've been trained that creativity has to take long amounts of time. It doesn't. These are little sparks, little moments, little hits of joy. Again, when you get in touch with your feminine energy, this is when your life will open up. Another example is writing for no reason. There's a beautiful book by Elizabeth Gilbert called Magic. I think it's just called Magic, and it was for the creative. So in this book, she recommended just writing for no purpose. Just write a poem, write a paragraph about something, journal. It could be writing in any way you want. If writing is your thing, then dive into that and don't fall into this masculine model that it has to turn into something that you sell, that you make into a product. Simply write for the enjoyment of it. Finally, just a little tip that I heard that I loved and I haven't tried yet, but I am going to, is when you're listening to a podcast, open a coloring book that really speaks to you and color as you listen to the podcast. Okay, the fifth and final daily habit to nurture your feminine energy and enhance your joy is something to do with your hair. Can you see today that I came here with a different hairstyle? It is bouncy and curly and over to the side. It's a little bit more messy, but today I felt like I wanted to feel my femininity more. And I thought, how can I do that? Let me curl with my smaller curling iron. Let me brush it out and then flip it over. And I quite liked it. And it made me feel a different energy than I have felt for a very long time. I am known for my soft waves, my part down the middle. Yet, this is another side of me. My personal close friends, my family, of course, my husband, knows that I have a very playful, hilarious aspect to my sense of humor and my zest for life. And so sometimes when I'm finding myself too much in that soft, warm, nurturing energy, I feel like I'm losing a little bit of Aaron. And when I want to get the spicy little Aaron up again, I do things differently. I wear a little bit of a different color. I wear bigger, bolder earrings. I will do this to my hair. I will sometimes wear a really bright red lip. Today, I didn't feel like that. Today, I was going for a different look, but your outside appearance changes the way you feel. So what do you feel you require? Do you need energy? Do you need to feel your feminine energy more? Then what can you do? Feminine energy is playful. So how can you bring that playful, vivacious, sensual energy that you want to feel that day to life? Is it your hair? Is it your outfit? Is it the jewelry you wear, the makeup you wear, the nail varnish you put on? What is it? Because I tell you, this has been studied over and over and over too. that your outside appearance affects your level of confidence. This is why in my program, The Elegant Art of Feminine Confidence, I have 2 modules on how to discover, embody, and express the most confident and authentic version of you on the outside. The first modules are all about the inside energies, but we are women. We know our outside appearance is something that can change us, that can boost us and elevate us and make us do, be, and feel different things. Am I right, ladies? So this is why this is the last thing that I wanted to talk about in terms of your 5 daily habits. So if we review them again, they are quickly do some kind of movement every day, but check in with what it is that you want to do. Be more playful in every area of your life, especially in those times when you're feeling a bit triggered. Be creative in some way and express your femininity on the outside via makeup, hair, jewelry, clothes, or nails, whatever it is. These are your 5 daily habits. Keep these in mind. You have these energies inside of you. And when you activate them and you embody them and you live them naturally, this is when confidence comes and pure fulfillment and happiness comes. And you become extremely magnetic for everything that you want to manifest. So make this an elegant week by keeping these 5 things in mind, and I'll see you next week.